Um, well, thanks for agreeing to be interviewed. If you would, before we get started, tell us your name and your current position with the city of Mountain Brook.
All right, Katie, appreciate you having me. My name is Adam Bomar. I'm a lieutenant in administration at Mountain Brook Fire Department. I serve as the department's deputy fire marshal.
How long have you been there?
I've been here 10 years.
Okay. What about on September 11th, 2001? Where were you and how did you find out about the terrorist attacks? Can you just set the scene for us?
Yeah, so I'm a little younger than maybe some of the folks you've interviewed. I was in 7th grade gym class. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had just changed into my gym clothes for the morning and come walking out of the locker room, and the coaches had moved the television into the gym and plugged it in. And I remember walking in and seeing smoke coming out of the World Trade Centers and thinking, well, I guess being however old I was, 13, 14 years old, not really knowing what was going on, and walking over there and realizing, holy cow, the World Trade Center's on fire. Because a couple of years previously, I'd gone to New York with my family and actually been in the World Trade Center and all that. So to see it on fire certainly piqued my interest. So I walked over and of course you see all the news headlines and stuff. And I was actually standing there watching it when the plane came in and hit the second tower. And I guess the realization came true that something was going on.
Yeah. So you were in class. The smoke you saw was the first plane, and then your whole class watched.
And the whole class.
Do you remember the reaction? Like what did your gym teacher do, or what the rest of your class did?
I wish I did. I remember my gym teacher sitting and saying an expletive. It was just one expletive, like, oh,
Yeah.
This is really happening. And then of course everything starts shutting down. I remember I lived in Memphis, Tennessee at the time, and you started to hear stuff going on in the city. The police presence became a lot more intensified and things like that. Of course, Memphis never got threatened or anything like that, but the precautions that have to be taken once stuff like that begins to happen. So of course, then I get home and my parents kind of update me as to what all is going on, and I just remember being shocked.
Yeah. One of the things that occurred to me when I was reading Fall and Rise, the book that I mentioned, the author did a really good job of placing everything where it was in the timeline juxtaposed to each other. So people today might not realize it, but at the time, we didn't know where President Bush was, and 2 planes hit, we didn't know, and now we do know that there were others, but it was just such a moment of chaos that you really, it was part of the reason that I thought we should talk to our first responders in the city and ask them about it, because just that entire disaster from front to back was just totally a shock. Like no one would have ever thought that would happen. What about, do you remember anything about the days and weeks after?
I remember not really changing a whole lot about my daily routine or my family's daily routine. We didn't travel as much.
Yeah.
Certainly. I remember the first time we went in an airport. After that was a couple months after that, and I remember thinking, golly, this is going to be like this for the rest of my life, probably. And I remember feeling some, I don't know if I want to use the word hatred, but resentment to the people that did that have caused, caused essentially what we still deal with today.
Yeah.
In the airports. Of course, it's better to be safe than sorry, but
yeah,
it's still a pain.
For sure it is. What about, how has 9/11 changed your job? Was it part of the reason you decided to be a firefighter, or what kind of impact has it had on you?
So I've wanted to be a fireman ever since I could walk. My grandfather was a doctor at one time and decided to to quit practicing medicine and become a fireman, and eventually became a fire chief and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of been, I guess, the path I wanted to take ever since I was a child. But I do remember as the days and weeks and months progressed after 9/11, you see pictures of firemen running up the stairs, and you see police officers doing the same thing and not worried about what could happen to them, not worried about anything else but going up there and rescuing people and getting them out. And so I just remember that kind of instilling in me that this is what I wanted to do for a living. There's one picture that of a fireman coming up the stairs at the World Trade Center, and he's got a 28 on his helmet, and that's the first station that I worked at up in Tennessee, was station.
Oh my
28.
gosh!
So not that has any correlation, but those pictures,
it'll stick in your head.
Yeah, those pictures are really what kind of instilled in me that this is what I wanted to do. So.
What would you say to the community or to anyone watching about September 11th? What would you say? Remember this, or this is important to know?
I'm going to kind of try to tie 9/11 in with this current pandemic that we're dealing with. The two are totally different things, but essentially they're still the same. I'd like for people to just remember how the country reacted after 9/11. Everybody came together. Nobody cared about color, race, religion, politics, or any of that. And everybody just took care of what needed to be taken care of. I wish that we could do this with this pandemic that's going on. As the pandemic progresses, you hear more about people being mad if you didn't get vaccinated, or mad if you got vaccinated. And there's so much politics and stuff going on with it. I wish people would just remember how we acted on 9/11, and let's come together to try to beat this virus that's going around and making it very difficult for our country to progress.
Totally agree. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to add anything else or any other thoughts?
No, ma'am, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, I really appreciate it. It was great talking to you, and I will get back in touch with you, like I said, when we get this on YouTube and get something put together. And I'll see you at the commemoration, if not before. So.
All right, Katie, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.